Hey everybody. Hey. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? Doing okay? I didn't even watch the Super Bowl. You know what? I have no idea who won. No idea. Zero. I have zero idea who won. I don't know. Just don't know.
You know what? I have no idea.
Oh no. I got the voice on again. So I'll go through and say my what's ups to everybody. By the way, I'm tired. I'm tired. I probably look tired too. Hey Joy. Hey Rena. Hey Rachel. Hey Don. Hey Will. Hey Lan, hey MJ's Life, hey Brandy, hey Gina, hey Sandy, hey Jen K, hey, let's see, who else we got? Leanne, Roro, Nancy, did I say Dawn, Ann, Deanna, Brandy, Cali Girl, I can never say your name, Gecko, I hate not being able to say names, it drives me nuts. I gotta figure out how to say your name, too. Who else? Miss Glare. Hey, what's up, Glare? Misty. Anna. Rebecca. Did I miss anybody? Misty. Anyway, I think I scrolled down pretty far here. So, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming in. This is the part 2 of the findings. Hey, AJ. Hey, Connie. Hey, Roro. Tammy. Hey, Mama Joan. Canada says hi. Hi, Canada. Let's see what else there. Let's see what's you, all right. Siren, hey Siren. Great to see you. Great to see you guys. You guys are all awesome. Thanks for, as usual, chat fashion. We'll be civil, smooth, and respectful. Yes, Lynn. Everybody here, definitely. If you haven't been in my chats before, I'm always a person that advocates for let's keep everything cool in chat, regardless on what we got going on the outside of things. I think we can all be respectful of each other and be cool. I always pride myself because we have awesome moderators and we have awesome people. And I'm glad that I always have such awesome people. I'm lucky. I feel blessed. I feel blessed that I have such an awesome chat all the time. I'm not going to lie, guys. I haven't been feeling very good lately. At all. I'm fighting something very, very difficult. And I don't know what's going on with me or my body, whatever. I just don't feel healthy. So, if you do prayers, I would appreciate you guys' prayers. That would be awesome. I always appreciate when you guys pray for me. So thank you so much for all of you that do. Lufa. Hey, Lufa. How you doing? Hey, finally got a love. Hey, Cass. Christy. Hey, Christy Clark. Hey, you guys are all awesome. And I always appreciate you guys. I always appreciate how awesome all of you guys are in chat. You guys seriously, like you, I say it all the time. You guys seriously are like a family. You guys are like a family to me, and I'm very appreciative. I know it's late. I know I kept rescheduling. I rescheduled this thing twice now. I contemplated even keep going because I was like, oh, man, I forgot about the Super Bowl. Look, I'm usually, oh my gosh. Okay, so I usually am one of those people that used to watch football like nonstop. However, a few years ago, I stopped doing it. And I can't tell you like how liberating and free. I used to be one of those people that would sit there and literally have to drink alcohol. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna drink like 2, 3, 4 beers and have a good time and watch the game. And it would sit there and frustrate the holy crap out of me. And I'm like, and then I just finally got to a point I was like, because I play sports all my life. Like I was all state, MVP. I was always picked up, like I was always one of the most valuable players in whatever I did. And I always had a very good sports throughout high school. I did really well. Baseball, I was really super awesome. And I think my baseball, throughout my baseball high school years, I batted a 700 average. If you guys don't know that, that's super. It's like, whoa. I was really super good at sports. I ran like a 4.40. I was super fast. I was able to dunk. I'm not the tallest dude in the world. I was able to dunk. I was really super good at sports, but I realized that there's a lot of things other than I feel liberated to be away from like the hustle and bustle of like football and like feeling like I have to watch it and feeling like, man, sports are awesome. Like they are, but there's so much more to life. Like, and I think I finally got that through my brain, especially when all the COVID, but even prior to that years, like I stopped and slowly stopped watching them. I'm like, why am I putting so much of my time and my effort and my frustrations? Why am I putting all this into sports? And I know this doesn't have to do with Gannon or anything like that, but just giving you guys a little like history into there. But Broncos, yeah, Broncos was my team for a long time. I'll never forget one Christmas for a Christmas present for my brother. It was when Von Miller had just came over, and he was signed by the Broncos, and they had his sports memorabilia. He had autographed a football, and it's like I said, it's just when he started. And I saw him. I was like, damn, he's good. I was like, he's going to be great. Von Miller's going to be freaking fantastic. I bought my brother an autographed Von Miller ball. And I'm still like to this day, I was like, damn it, I wish I would have bought myself one. Because Von Miller, if you don't know who Von Miller is, he's a beast. He's a beast in the game. And so I'll never forget that. Now, like, I'm like, damn it, I should have bought myself one. Because it literally was like, I think $99. It's $99 for Von Miller's signature. Can't find that now. Cowboys is your team. I love Von Miller. Sandra says they love Von Miller. Yeah, he's great. Hi, Mekcee, you're still not feeling well. Hi, Hazel Eyes. No, I'm not feeling the greatest. Curious Crime. Would you be willing to check out the Frazee case? Yes, I actually have that on my list. Crime Curious. People in Woodland Park, Cripple Creek. Yeah, I know. I have that on my list. Crime Curious. And if it has changed a lot, I'm sure it has. 3 Denver 03. Hey, yes. Yeah, I bet you're from Denver. Chizuka, what's the Puppy Bowl? How funny, play football, Mekcee. Yeah, I did play football. I was the running back. I was like Barry Sanders. I was really good at juking people. Really, really super good at juking people, and I was super fast. Oh, man. I stopped with the sports, too. Yeah, it feels liberating. I mean, like I said, I know there's a lot of sports fanatics in there, and I know that a lot of people love sports, but to me, it was just, I realized that there's more important things in life, and there's a lot of time-consuming things. For instance, sports takes, football game takes 4 or 5 hours roughly. So a lot of times you could do something else, and like when I have something like this going on, I'm like, guys, I gotta work. I gotta do investigations. I gotta do all that stuff. I got too much stuff to do. Hey, Bristol girl. Can I stand football? Blah. Yes, people. That's funny. I used to love soccer. I used to play soccer too. The strategy, I won my soccer champion. Well, no, we actually lost in the soccer championship, but I did get MVP in all state. But what we used to do is, because I was so fast, like we'd kick the ball and basically launch it. Like we'd pull everybody forward, launch the ball, and I'd go on a full sprint to go get the ball so I could get set up to get a score goal. That was like our thing. But the coach on the other team in the championship game was wise enough to know that, and he left 2 guys back at all times. And I couldn't get around it because he left them towards the goalie. So we couldn't just boot the ball, and I couldn't just go run around people. So that sucked. Yeah, I was super fast. Do you like baseball? Yeah, I was just saying, Sweet Pea, I had a 700 batting average throughout my high school career. So I was batting a 700 batting average. So, yeah. Came in the Facebook group. Hey, Tax Girl. I didn't see where you. Oh, there you are. Hey, Tax Girl. How you doing? Say, hey, Foxy Leda. Hey, Peggy Sue got married 3. The Flash. So anyway, guys, I guess we'll get moving forward because we got a lot of stuff to cover on this thing, and I'm gonna try to scrunch it down. And I thought about this, guys, and you guys might want to kill me. This will be, I think, the first time that I do a 3-part episode. I'm gonna turn this into a 3-part because there's so much things to cover, and we got so much footage, we got so much things to cover, that this is going to be the first 3-part. The first 3-part. So, we got a lot of cool content. I don't know what else to say. So, anyway, without further ado, we'll get started. But I do have, you guys know that the glare was on here with me, and he is in the back. I got the glare on here. So, we're going to pull up the glare here in a second. We have some things that I'm going to show you while we're here, and we'll go over them in the thing. And you know what? I'm just going to pull him up here so we can get up here. Hopefully he's ready. Hopefully you're ready. Are you ready?
I'm getting ready. Like I'm just pulling up my Gannon info, the Gannon case info, because what else am I doing here? But yeah, I'm here, man. It's really good to be here, dude.
Yeah, good to have you in, man. Glad to have you here. I know that, you know, I don't want to throw you on the spot or anything. You were talking to me, and I appreciate you being respectful, and you reached out and you said, you know, you had some drama that had happened and stuff, and you weren't sure, you know, about having me on, but I appreciate you obviously telling me that. And to those that are out there that might have ill will towards you or whatever, I want to say, you know, I know that everybody, every single person, no matter who it is, I'm going to advocate for this like the hardest that there is. None of us are perfect. You know, all of us make mistakes. All of us have things that happen sometimes behind things. Sometimes we say things we wish we wouldn't have. Sometimes we do things we wish we wouldn't have done. And, you know, you reached out and you're like, you know, I was apologetic about what happened. And I don't even know the case. I don't know the scenario. I don't know what's going on. But I do think that you were a good dude. And like, I did appreciate you reaching out to me and telling me that too. So everybody in the chat too, you know, please show as much respect as you can. Obviously the Glare is a guest on my channel too. So he's somebody that, you know, I've been really good. I would consider you like a friend. So
yeah, me too, man.
So I appreciate it, man. So
no,
so with that being said, man, like I said, we all have our stuff. I'm always the first person. I'm like, yeah, you know, you without first sin, cast the first stone, because like legitimately there's not one person here that can't say that they haven't messed up in their life. So, you know, let's get past it. Let's move on. And that's it. You know, like, what can you do? If you apologize, you did what you can, and that's that. So,
well, it wouldn't be fair to say here since it's brought up, but I'm not going to go into detail about it. But you know, it's a little bit more than that. I don't want to get off that easy as far as, you know, hey, people make mistakes and you move forward. Like, it's important that anybody who has any feelings about me, about this, and especially that girl, it's important that you know that I want to take steps to try to improve this. I've been working on not being that type of person for a long time and getting pretty damn good at it. And I just lost control, and there's no excuse for it. It was really not nice, and it wasn't okay. And it was to somebody who is extremely valuable in my life. So everybody has a right to feel how they feel about it. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you having me up here, and I appreciate you guys
like
being
what
cool
you said, like what you said.
Here, so.
The Glare, like what you're saying right now, man, like everything you're saying, you know, you're taking steps to become your better person. I've messed up a lot in my life. A lot, man. I've made some very pathetic, poor, freaking, just absolutely annoying, disgusting choices. And you know what? Like the point is that like you as a person, like what you were just saying, that shows your character. Your character is, you know what? I messed up. I messed up. I take accountability for it. And you're like, you sound like what you like, what I sound like when I mess up and stuff. I'm like, you know what? I need to take accountability for my actions and for what I've done. And I'm not trying to get off the hook. I'm not trying to pretend like it never happened. I say the same things too. Like, you know, like I said, I've messed up a ton in my life, a ton. And, you know, like you are taking accountability for it. You are saying, you know, I did what I did and I don't want to be off the hook. And I'm trying to better myself. You're saying all the things that we just, so, you know, that's that. I mean, like, people, there's all kinds of people that mess up, and you know we're gonna mess up in our lives. That's all there is to it, is we're gonna mess up in our lives. The decisions we make after we mess up in our lives is usually shows what kind of character or person we are, because we can have a shitty moment, we can absolutely have a shitty moment and be the like most shitty person ever, and be like, God, man, what happened? Like I was just an absolute douchebag. You know what I mean? Like you're like, you look at it, you're like, what?
That's totally how I look back on it,
Man, like what is
it's
wrong
like,
with me? What is my
and
shit?
me laughing right now is me laughing at myself. Like, what a fucking idiot you are. Like, I'm sorry for cussing. Sorry about that, but
You're good.
but it's like, man, how? Come on, man, you're better than that. You work too hard to be better than that. And then what are you doing? You know, and to her, of all people, come on, man. So I mean, I'm really she deserves to move forward with this as she chooses, you know, and how where her heart leads her. But I truly hope that she'll find it in her heart to forgive me, and we can see this as scar tissue and learn from it. And you know, it's always going to be there, but it's something that we could always, you know, I could always try not to do moving forward and be that way.
I'm good, man. Like that's cool. Like you did all the right steps, man. You reached out to me and you said, hey, like I have drama going on. Like I'm not sure. Like, but I'm always a person that's very forgiving. Like I'm like, you know what? Man, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. So like, first off, like you haven't done anything directly to me. So why am I going to shun you off because you haven't done anything to me? So that would be like me. Oh man, you got drama. You got stuff going on behind the scenes. Everybody has a life, man. Everybody has a life. Everybody has mistakes. Everybody fucks up at one point or another.
And I gotta tell you, you know, on a lighter note, it's so nice to be part of good content for a change in the last couple of days, including my own. Like my last live was a shit show, you know, and it's like I don't want to do that kind of stuff, man. You know.
Yep. But that's it. But now you're not, like, this is the thing. You live and you learn, right? You live and you learn. Like you did it. It happened. What can you do? You can't go backwards. You can't change it. You can't apologize for it. You can say, I'm going to take the necessary steps and the action to make sure that it doesn't happen in the future. But that's part of you taking accountability, and that's part of everybody taking accountability, because like at some point or another, we all have to pay the repercussions. Sometimes the repercussions is a falling out. Sometimes somebody doesn't want to speak to us anymore. Sometimes somebody will throw us underneath the bus or turn us in, or somebody will send us to jail. You know, there's consequences to our actions. And sometimes those consequences really suck to our actions. But as long as we can look at it and say, I messed up, I'm going to change it, I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to do better than I have in the past. That's all we can do. That's all we can do, man. So I appreciate you coming on here, man. Like, because like that speaks to me too. Because like you could have hid. You could have been one of those people that hid from it and been like, you know what, I was such a douchebag. Like I don't honestly even want to go on. You know what I mean? Like I don't even want to go on because I'm embarrassed.
I just don't. Yeah, the one thing I'm not gonna do is like feel sorry for myself that much further. You know, like it's you know, by losing your temper and insulting someone that you respect and you care about loudly, you really compromise yourself. You know what I mean? You just really compromise yourself, and
Thank you so much.
I just, yeah, I have no excuse for it. And all I want to do is just not ever be that guy, you know?
And
And
that's all you can do, man. That's all you can do.
yeah,
So I'm glad to have you here. It looks like, everybody else is, they're warming and welcoming, and like, we'll move on past that. We've got past it. You said your apologies. You've done your thing. I don't know what's going on. I don't need to know what's going on. I just know that me and you are
you'll
good.
find out.
We're good friends.
You'll find out.
I try not to be involved in it, man. Like, because I know that people make
Yeah.
mistakes, and I know that, like, I might hear something. It was the same thing with Truthy. You know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
hurt because, like, I was upset about Truthy. Like, I even told Robbie, I was like, dude, I even teared up and like freaking shed a tear for this dude. I was like, I felt, because I
Yeah.
had him on my channel
I
too, and
did
I was
too.
like, oh my god, I
A
was
lot of
like, oh
people
my
did.
god. So like when that happened, but like everybody was like, oh fucking Truthy, like, yeah, was that A-class douchewad thing to do? Absolutely, absolutely, it was. However, there's circumstances and things that happen in life. Like I said, we don't all make the right decisions, the
I
right
mean,
choices.
yeah, the silver
So
lining in that is that that's never happened to me, and I've never had to hunt to find evidence that somebody faked a suicide. That has
yeah,
never happened. So I
yeah,
get to say that that happened, but it wasn't fucking cool that he made me, you, and a lot of other people in this community feel, really hurt.
yeah, he did. He
And
did, but you know what? I forgave him like immediately, and I was like, you know what? Whatever. I forgive him. Like, he has his reasons for doing whatever he did, and regardless of whether he is truly, I heard a little bit of it. I tried to listen and hear things out. It sounded like a lot of excuses and things, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's not at the point in his life where he's willing to take the accountability and acceptance and stuff like that. So I had to step out. I was like, if that is that, that's fine. I forgive him for what he did.
that shit made me so mad. It made me so mad. It made Annie so mad. It made so many people so mad. It was, yeah. It was, yeah.
Thank you, Steph, for the
I
donation.
mean, and I wish him the best, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want anything
Yeah,
to do with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
yeah,
just
exactly.
like
You don't wish harm upon
here's
people.
the
That's
reason. This is the thing about faking your death, right? This plays over and over in my mind all the
Thank you,
time.
Steph. Thank you, Steph. That's awesome message.
The thing about people is, I can't speak for everyone else, but I only have one
Thank you.
mourning in me. I only have one time that I mourn for a person, like, and I'd never realized that because I've never had anybody that I know fake their own death. But it's when I realized that I mourned this person, and then I found out they were alive, and especially found out the reasons behind them doing it, I was like, no, we can never be friends. There's no point in being friends ever again, or me wanting anything to do with you, because if I find out that you actually died later, I'm not going to go through that again.
What my
I already did
thought
that
on it my thoughts were this, Lagur. I was like, he did what he did. I was hurt about it. However, I forgave him, and I had a weight lifted off of my shoulder because I don't wish death upon people. So like when I found out that Truthy was actually alive, like regardless of whatever his situation is, I was like, you know what? Thank God, man. Like, thank God that he's alive. Whatever's going on in his life that he felt like he had to do whatever he did, whatever. It is what it is. Like, just thank God that he's alive, and maybe he can turn his life around and do something better going on in the future, and something happens.
That's why we got so
you
mad
can't
when he was on. Yeah, that's why we got so
you
mad when
can't
he
bring
was on
that
our
back.
channel.
Like, you
Because
can't
we
bring
were
that
like,
back. So I felt like a huge weight lifted off my shoulder. I was like, you know what? Maybe he faked his suicide, maybe he faked his death, and maybe all that stuff. But you know what? Thank God that he's actually alive.
right.
And maybe he can choose to be a better person going on, moving forward in the future. And that's what I hoped, and that's what I prayed. I was like, you know what? That's what I hope for. That's seriously what I hope for.
Yeah, and I was even grateful to have the chance to even tell him that.
Thank you so much.
I was like, dude, 40% of me is so pissed at you for what you did, but the other 60 is just happy to see you, or happy to hear you. Uh,
That was me. That was me. I was like, well, thank God he's alive. Like when he did it, I seriously felt like a weight lifted off my shoulder. I
yeah,
was like, thank God he's alive. Robbie knew from the start. Robbie was in the background telling me, he's like, something's fishy here. Something's
he
fishy here.
did. He
And
did. He
he told me,
texted
he's
me
like,
too, and
something's
I was
fishy.
like,
Something's fishy. I was like, I don't know, man. All I know is he said that he's dead, and I've heard about it. And I'm feeling all kinds of feelings. And then that happened. I was like, you know what? Whatever. I forgive him. It happened. The weight's lifted off my shoulders. I don't have to worry about him actually be dead. And good, wish a better life for you, man. Hopefully everything turns out better in the future. So
yeah, I wish him the best. I wish Kate the best. Good luck. Right on. Just, don't ever contact me.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't even mind. Like if you reached out and said, you know what, Mekcee, like, we only had a couple lives together and stuff like that. So, I wasn't super close like you guys were, but I had it, and it was like part of the community and stuff. So, but anyway, we'll move on from all that because that's like all like, that's like,
yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy. But it's just that I love talking to you, man. Like you're
you too, bro.
yeah.
It's awesome. Like I said, like when you texted, I was like, thank you, I appreciate it, man. But like, I still want you on, man. Like you're still my brother. You're still everybody makes
my man was straight up like, dude, link. He's like, man, I'm like, you sure, man? And he's like, yeah,
I'm like,
dude.
yeah, it's good. I'm like, yeah,
that's good. You're a class act, man. Like, I'm so grateful to call you a friend. Absolutely. That was dope.
You too, man. Like I said, don't worry about it. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, every single person in this chat, every single person that we know outside of here, everybody makes mistakes, man. So you did what you did, and you took accountability, and you're trying to change. You're trying to do whatever you did. So I'm appreciative. Thank you for reaching out to me. I'm happy to have you on my panel, man. I'm happy to call you my brother.
The honor's mine.
You've been a good friend to me from the get-go. So like, I'm appreciative to have you on. But with that, moving on, we got like a bigger thing, which is like Gannon, because we know that justice has still not been served for Gannon, and my heart goes out to his family. And there's so many just nasty things, which, by the way, too, I just recently, everybody kept saying Night Stalker, and I saw you do something on Night Stalker too. I just finished that series.
Dude, it's amazing, right?
Oh my God, man, that is crazy.
I'm down to talk about the story, but I didn't know. Yeah, if you ever want to do something on it, man. If you ever want to do something, man, let me know, dude. I'm down to talk to you about that. I'd love to hear your insight on that.
For sure. Like that was another one that after it went on, I was like, oh, I got to dig into this further, man, because that's just crazy.
That guy was pure evil.
He was pure evil, and it falls right along the lines of what like I do as a paranormal investigator. What do I try to do? I try to find evil. I try to find the evil that's out there. And this dude was straight like demon possessed. I'm telling you, this dude was straight demon possessed.
You should get this channel up to like a shit ton of subs, dude, and take a trip out. Oh,
I'm going to. I plan on taking a trip to Cali.
To Cali, man. Yeah.
I'm going to take a trip out to Cali, and I'm going to see if I could do it in like a several part segment where that I try to get at all the houses that he had hit along the way. Maybe even try to come up with a map along the way to show you guys like it was here, like all the different just nasty, disgusting, freaking terrible, awful things that he did. And I'm very curious as to what presence he left behind. Like, because he did some seriously atrocious things.
He had to have. Like, that guy was, I mean, they said that he smelled like a goat. Mm-hmm. Literally everything about Richard Ramirez was foul.
His teeth were rotting. He smelled like a goat. He, like they said so many different things. His eyes, you can look in his eyes and see that like he just had pure evil in his, and even look at it, like he would draw pentagrams and then he'd show them on the freaking thing. He'd draw pentagrams over here on the walls. He'd freaking just, and it was so weird, like how like soulless he was, just absolutely soulless. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Hey. Yo, your chat is awesome, dude.
They are. They always have been. I've always boasted about my chat because my chat.
I love your chat, dude. I love hanging out in your lives when I can catch them. Usually because we got a difference in time. You know, I'm at work a lot of times when you go live, and then I'm just like, damn, and I can't really participate in chat as much as I want to. But I love your chat.
Yeah, I'm glad. Like that was one of the things that I always talked about. Like, and I kept preaching that. Like I wanted to build like this strong foundation of just super awesome supporters, and like seriously, like you can look through chat and like my hats off to you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are the reason that this channel has done so well, is because of like the support and the awesomeness that you guys like. You guys are like just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for making this so much easier for me. You guys make my job as a YouTube person coming on and then sharing what I find, like you guys make me want to go the extra mile, which is sometimes when I'm feeling sick. I don't always feel like doing paranormal investigations when I'm sick. Like I've gone out there when I've been freaking sick. I'm like, I feel so freaking ill right now, but I am not going to let my people down.
Words you'll only hear come out of a paranormal investigator's mouth is, I don't feel like doing paranormal investigations when I'm sick. Yeah. You'll only hear that come out of a paranormal investigator's mouth.
And if like you've ever like seen it, like it is a physical toll on your body. Like people probably think we're insane. They may think, oh, there might be some people out there that are like, oh, you're full of crap. Like that stuff doesn't take a toll on you. Like it does, mentally, emotionally, freaking physically. Like it takes.
Well, you're dealing with energy
on you. Yeah,
you're dealing with energy. So
negative energy, like very negative energy. There's some, and I'm covering like these very heinous things, like Gannon, the Watts case. I'm going to John Bonet on Wednesday. Like I'm the Aurora Century movie theater. I was actually able to get into his apartment. I don't even know if you're able to see that. I wasn't get into his apartment, but get into the building and get right next to his door because it's locked. I was actually able to get inside there. It was pretty crazy.
Hey, you too, Jeremy. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, man. My mind was blown. Me and the chat were like this when you were talking to the owner of the stock house, dude. I was like, dude, this guy is bold, bro. Like,
yeah, I really don't like. I'm like, dude, I gotta go. I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta go out there I gotta at least give it a try, man. Like I saw him get inside the house, and you guys saw me. I was like, literally, like, okay, I'm gonna give him like at least 5 minutes to wind down because I don't want to be completely a rude, disrespectful.
My man just got home from work.
But I was like, I gotta go up there and at least talk to him and figure out, A, does he know about what happened there? B, is there any way possible that you would let me in here to do an investigation on it? And unfortunately the answer is no, but I can't blame him, man. Like if I had a family, that dude has had a kid and his wife, and like, oh yeah, come on in here and do a paranormal investigation. Who knows if possibly his kid is sleeping exactly where Gannon was. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy to think about. Like,
yeah. I mean, I see. I don't know if I could. Maybe it depends on the crime. I don't know. Like if there was just a cop shootout, I'd be like, maybe whatever. But where somebody murders an 11-year-old child in cold blood and brutally and so hatefully, the way that Letitia Stauch did Gannon, I don't know if I could stay under that roof.
Yeah, I don't think I could. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to go into depth on how I've been feeling lately and stuff like that. I'm going to go into depth in it here in a second. Thank you, Leah, too. By the way, thank you for the donation. Good to see you as well. She's a fellow paranormal investigator. It's very draining. Thanks for all you do. And it honestly is.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let me tell you about the night that I went there. So you guys saw me on there. You guys saw I was getting an absolute freaking the migraine I couldn't even describe to you. Like it was just the worst freaking migraine when I was there. And if you saw in the last video that I just did, the glare, did you see that it called my name 3 times?
I did. I was watching that.
So it called my name.
I was on my break at work.
The 3rd time was a very evil one, and then it called me a coward too, as well. And with that too.
Didn't it say something like stop looking or something like that?
It told me to stop. Like, I think it was stop, like it stop. And it wasn't going to I wasn't going to be able to stop what they were doing. Is basically what I believe it to have been saying. Is
Right.
it wasn't going
That's
to
how I
stop their
took it.
mission.
That's how I
So
took it too. Like
and
they
so it's
were,
like,
you were interfering with something.
yeah, so it's like they
Right.
were telling me, like warning me, and it even said Legion too, which I went over Legion last time in it. Legion is not one demon, but it's like pretty much like an army of freaking demons. Like it says that it
That's an
even
actual thing. That's the
Mhm.
thing that you looked into
Yeah,
and
it's even in the Bible. It even talks about them in the Bible, that how they were talking about how they were trying to cast out a demon, and that it said we are Legion, and basically meaning, more than one demon. So it's like, it's like it started
that's
talking about
scary, man.
3. It talked about Legion, and it told me to stop. And not only that, like after that, like I went over to the house, which I'm going to play the audio here in a second. But I went over to the house and had a full conversation with the neighbors twice. I went before to figure out, what story did they have to tell, what kind of things they had. A lot of things that they had on their plate, which is going to be very interesting. Which I think you guys will find it very interesting, the conversation that I had with them. And then I went back after the investigation, and I knew I had to go back because I was like, I have to get this on recording for you guys. I have to get this on the voice recorder and record the conversation between us. And trust me, when I was there, I literally almost passed out. I had such a migraine. I hadn't eaten all day. I literally almost passed out in there. And there was a point where I was sitting there, and I was just kind of like very quiet, and I was just like, oh my God. Like I
What's
just
the
sat there, thought in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna pass out
what
here.
what's the common explanation for that in your field?
The common explanation would be that the demon or the spirit or whatever they want to call it, it just depends. Different people, different paranormal investigators call it different things. I call it demons because I believe they're demons. Drains your energy, which I do believe that something was trying to physically attack me, like as far as my energy, taking me, draining me, warning me, telling me to basically stop, leave it alone. And
Do you feel a drop in temperature? Like I hear that happens a lot. Do you feel a drop in
yes,
temperature when this
I
happens?
have felt it several times. But in this instance, because it's weird, because usually it's a cold that you feel, like you feel a cold spot, which actually I just ordered too. I don't know why it took me so long to do this, but I just ordered a gun that measures the temperature so we could see the fluctuations in the temperature. I should have had that forever ago, but I prolonged it. So anyway, I'm supposed to have that on, like, I think it's on Tuesday, but I'm gonna start doing that so you guys could see that too, because I do feel fluctuations in temperatures. And when you do feel like, you can see like a sudden drop, like between 5 to 10 degrees drop. And anybody who knows, like, it shouldn't just drop in a temperature that dramatically in one spot or one area. If like you had a breeze or something, like a window open or something like that, that would explain it. But when there's no
Yeah.
explanation as to it, then thank you, Jeremy. Draining energy. Yeah.
That's happened to me where like I'm walking through a room and I feel just like the midsection of my body get cold as I'm walking through just for a second. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
quick.
like, there's
Yep.
no explanation for that because there's no window open. I'm not walking by an air conditioning vent. It's just, and then I'm like, but I'm not gonna lie, I just don't think much of it. I'm like,
Hey,
I'm like,
Robbie.
I don't want to know. Like if my house is haunted, man, just leave me alone. Do your thing, and
And
let's
that's
just leave each
honestly
other alone.
the best stance you can take. If you're not a paranormal investigator, if you're not a priest, that's honestly the best stance you can take. Honestly, that is 100% what I would suggest. If you're not trying to paranormal investigate it, if you're not a priest, just ignore that it even freaking exists. Just like completely block it out of your mind, because the moment that you start doing that and you act like it doesn't exist, it's almost like when you see the legends, of oh my God, why can't I think of the freaking name of what they call it? Like Bloody Mary and urban legends. The urban legends, it's like when you see people hype it up, you give it energy.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that makes sense.
it's
That
the
makes
same
sense.
sense as that. Like when you
It's
hype
like,
it up,
yeah, dude, it's the same
it builds
principle
off you.
as a YouTube troll.
Yeah,
Like,
because it feeds off
if
of
you, yeah,
YouTube. Yeah.
if you feed that YouTube troll, they're just gonna grow, dude. They're just
Yeah.
gonna get exactly what they want.
Yeah,
Wow,
they
that's
just wait for
it's
you
the
to
same
comment
thing.
and be like, "You hate you. I hate." They're like, "I hate you. I hate. Get the hell out." That's exactly what they're waiting for. I did handle a troll. Did you see one time like they came on here and they were being a douchewad in my chat? Like I rarely get that, but I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, everybody, this person needs a moment to be acknowledged. They need to feel special for a moment
right.
because they want to do that. So everybody,
It's
let's give
my
them a round of
pleasure to give it
applause.
to them. Dude,
And
when I
here you
started
go.
my channel, I was just like that, man. I
We'll give
lost
you
it
the
somewhere.
attention that you want."
Dude, when I first started my channel, I was just like that, and I lost it somewhere. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna get it back.
It's tough, man. Like when you have people attacking you, I lost my shit almost one time. Like I didn't go full blown because like I I'm telling you, like you guys do not want to see me completely lose my temper. Like I'm not a nice person when I lose my
Yeah,
temper.
yeah.
I try to be a good person. Like I mess up like everybody else, but like sometimes I'm human too. I lose my shit sometimes too. And I lost my shit on one person that was calling me like saying that my investigations and I was trying to feed people a line of shit and that I was
Yeah.
lying.
Oh, well, yeah. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get that. Yeah.
So but she did it on the wrong day, and I was like,
Right.
oh, okay, that's what we're gonna say. I'm sitting here lying to people now. Okay, that's what we're gonna. So I lost my cool that time, but I was like, never again. I'm never gonna lose my cool again.
Right. Yeah. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just like, I can't even fucking believe that. You know.
Oh man.
So.
Well, let's go into the. I wanted to get you on here too because I want you to see. MJ was awesome enough. Thank you, MJ, for going out there. She actually went to Gannon's site where they found him. So,
Is this what we're doing?
yeah, so we're gonna show that video right now.
Oh
So,
my god.
yeah, it's super awesome. So, thank you, MJ, for getting this content like super awesome. Like,
Yeah. Wow, MG, that's amazing.
so let's get this up and running here.
I remember you talking about that, and then I was
Yeah.
like, that would be amazing.
And so here we have it. It's actually right here. Okay. Check on it. Okay, can you guys see it? I'm think I might try to make it screen bigger. Hold on. Okay. All right, you ready? Can you hear it, Blair?
Yeah. Well, I heard it before.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure you can hear it prior to. All right, let's go. Let's do it.
This used to be a bay. That way is the Gulf of Mexico. As you can see, it's super crazy busy. Traffic is just ridiculous. So, and it's always like this between I would say 4 and 7 p.m. And then again at from 6 to probably 9, 10 a.m. It stays pretty busy. I don't know how long this
Oh no.
stretch of road is that we call the flats. Tell you, I'll pull over at his memorial, but then I'll have to turn around and come back the other way to be able to get out and actually take pictures and video where his actual body was found by workers because they were building and doing construction on this bridge up here. This road floods all the time during bad rainstorms or definitely tropical storms, hurricanes. This road will flood because there's water on both sides. So they decided to put this bigger bridge in to help with that because if they have to close down the interstate, then this is the detour.
Welcome to the family faith.
I'm going to try to safely
welcome, Crystal Styles.
and show you where his memorial is. We're coming up on it.
Hey, Sadie Smith.
That's where his memorial
There it is. See the memorial?
His body was found right in between that bridge and this side. And there's rocks and stuff down there. I'll include some pictures from the news because they had that whole the fast lane side cut off you walk down and then it was along the water. It's just strange to me because it's, I mean, yeah, it's main highway, but it's for local main highway. You know, it's not like anything that you would know about if you're just on I-10. You wouldn't think, oh, let me get off at Pace, Florida. They put his memorial on the right side of the road. I guess so more people could stop and pay their respects or drop stuff off. Okay, I'm getting out. This is just so sad. So many people have left things for him. A Sonic.
Welcome to the family, True Seeker.
Kinds of stuffed animals.
No, MJ, I don't mind. Go ahead.
This is the same ghost hunting tools. There's going to be a lot of road noise. But I didn't want to come down here at night because it's even more dangerous. There are gators down here, believe it or not. It's not real something I'm safe getting out and kind of walking around.
Hey, thank you, Jeremy.
Gannon, are you here? Yes, Jackson. Can you tell us who brought you here? Gannon, did your stepmom drive you here?
So you guys should recognize that app from when I
Was she alone
use
when
my
she brought
things.
you here?
Kind.
Did she bring you here alone?
Stomach.
Chair. Where did she hurt you at?
I wonder if it's talking about the chair again. The sofa, couch.
Did she hurt you in your room?
What?
Yeah, some of the things don't make sense.
Well, I mean, but they could, because I mean, it could be any
Anything.
detail, any memory of any moment.
Yep. Meat and constant could have been something he ate before. Could have been anything. Anything.
Did your dad have anything to do with hurting you? Can you tell us your
Constant.
sister's name?
Constant, man. That's
I saw a video about her saying she loved her Bubba, missed her Bubba.
Stacy Ramirez was
You know,
saying he was
today's
sick
the
to his stomach
anniversary
on
of when he
Monday
went missing.
right. Yeah.
for the reasons missed school. Remember?
I heard somewhere that he had issues with messing his pants because he had issues controlling his bowels.
I'm gonna try to turn around after the
That's
bridge
too bad.
and stop in a median if I can.
I feel like Letitia, that added to Letitia's lack of patience for
But
him.
as you can see, the bridge
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
His body was found down in there.
Isn't that insane that
And it's all
like
marsh
she dropped him,
and water.
you know, over there?
You can't see on that side, but
Like of all places,
on
why
the
right there?
side, you'll be able to see more of what's on the sides. Also, like in this town, I could go ask 100 people, and I guarantee you, maybe 5 people will know about this case. And that's really sad to me because they didn't put out much. Like, you can only find 1 or 2 articles from Pace, Florida about this. And there's businesses on both sides of these, of the flats, a bar, gas stations, a hotel. Like, I wonder if they went in there and checked cameras, or maybe they didn't because they didn't know the exact dates she was here. So I am, confused about that because honestly, we didn't hear much about this at all, and that is sad to me. But I kind of understand with the dates and not knowing, and you know.
But they kind of did the same thing in Colorado
so
with the Watts case until it became real popular. Like it didn't go on a bunch of newscast channels too. I don't know why.
Well, the thing is I mean, YouTube. I'll tell you this much: YouTube was blowing up over Gannon Stauch. I mean, everybody was talking about it. That's how I pretty much started doing true crime. Really, that was the first case that I took real seriously.
Yeah.
Get off on the left side or not? It looks like there's a pullover. Let's see. Oh my gosh.
Yo, dude.
I think I'm
slow down, bro.
Like Mekcee.
Yeah, this is something I would do right here too.
All right, so
except for I would be the dummy that crawls all the way down in between there.
Cut off. I'll get out and record it, but I can't walk down there. 1, my foot. 2, it's crazy busy.
Thank you for doing this again, MJ. Like I know you see, like she's got the injured foot.
But he was found in between the bridges, right there.
Wow.
Let's see if I can zoom. There we go. It's as far as I can zoom in, but right between there, down in between the bridges.
That's crazy.
Now, do you feel like there's something in the works that put such a beautiful sunset while she was covering that? You know, something bigger than us that made sure that as we're watching it, we saw this beautiful sunset in the background.
It was perfect timing. I don't know. Sometimes things happen for reasons at timings.
Right.
6-7 minutes to get from one side.
Something bigger than us for sure.
To get from Pensacola to Pace, going over the flats. My head's still hurting really bad.
Because I'm sitting here thinking how awful this is, and then I'm thinking I'm still in a position where I'm like, what a beautiful day.
Yeah,
you know,
it looks beautiful, and like maybe that's the point of it too. Is like what you said, it's kind of like something bigger at work, like seeing peace and tranquility right there. But just, I mean, look at that. This doesn't it just break your heart, man? Just like looking at it, like just imagine everything that this poor kid went through. Poor Gannon.
Yeah.
See, that's where she was talking about in between.
Yeah, and to answer, somebody asked who found Gannon. That was I think it was a city worker. Hold on, I've got that right here. But I will answer that in just a second. Where is... Okay. Like, I have to go by the timeline because, like, that didn't happen yet. That didn't happen yet.
God, it's awful.
Oh, man. When did this... This is a lot of stuff here. This is
Yeah,
a lot of
it's a lot of
stuff.
information, a ton of
Right. Okay, hold on. I think I'm close. I think I'm close to it. There we go. Okay, so authorities say they found Gannon Stauch's body in Pace, Florida, near the Escambia River Bridge, which is
water.
where she is right now. Details on what led to the discovery were not released, but the El Paso County Sheriff's Office asked for anyone who had seen Letitia Stauch in Florida from March 3rd to 5th to come forward. The El Paso County District Attorney's Office to file 9 additional charges against his stepmother, including 1 count of first-degree murder after deliberation and 8 counts of committing a crime of violence. The remains of an 11-year-old Colorado boy missing since January 27th were found nearly 1,400 miles away from his home Friday, confirming his family's worst fears. So this is 1,400 miles at least from where Mekcee is right now. And Gannon Stauch's body was found near Escambia River Bridge on Interstate 90 near Pace, Florida, by a Florida Department of Transportation construction crew, said Sergeant Rich Eloy of the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office. Pace is 15 miles north of Pensacola.
Oh, man. I'm trying to pull up, while you're reading over that, I'm trying to pull up the interview that I did with the neighbors. They got to witness a lot of different things there. And they actually had somebody that said they can't, but it was a officer that was involved with the case, but they knew a lot about the case. And unfortunately, because of, his profession, he couldn't come forward and speak, unfortunately. But, I kind of got to hear some behind the scenes stuff, which was cool. So thank you to them as well for inviting me in their home and going over all these details, and it was super awesome. So I'm trying to get this audio in there so you guys can hear it real quick.
Yeah, so Janet, aka Queen's Chatting, you were the one who asked who found Gannon. So it was a Florida construction crew. They were city workers, and they found him. And I want to know. I want to know what was going on in her head. Why? Because MJ was talking about why that spot. You know what I mean? There's cameras, probably. There's businesses. There was a gas station. There was something else, a fast food restaurant. So, I mean, anything could have been going through her head. It could have been maybe she was overwhelmed with the thought of him even being in the car still, and she just got sick of it and pulled over, or decided I'm going to find that spot and throw it under that bridge right there.
The only thing I can think of is kind of like what you're saying right there. Like, she probably didn't have a good idea. She doesn't seem like the most intelligent type of person.
No.
And it's like, to me, it almost be like, I know this is not, this is a Gannon that we're talking about, but
I'm just not buying that she's got a PhD, dude. I'm just not buying she's got a PhD.
Yeah, me either. She, yeah, definitely not. But also, it's like one of those, what I'm saying is like, it's one of those things where you're like, man, I really have to pee. And like when you really have to pee, you're like, God, I really, really have to pee. And I don't know where the heck to stop. So you keep driving and you keep thinking that there's going to be somewhere else that's better. And then you keep driving and you keep thinking there's going to somewhere else that's going to be better. Maybe this is a good spot to pull off. And eventually you just like get to a point where you just like, kind of like, screw it. I'm just going to piss here. I don't care. Like I can't hold it anymore. And I wonder if that was kind of the same mentality that she might've had. It was just like trying to look for a spot because she didn't plan this shit out, and she eventually got to the point was like, oh God, well, this is maybe as good a spot as any other, like, because she didn't seem like too intelligent of a person, even like in the conversations that she had carried on, you know, when she was doing her interviews and different things, you could tell like she wasn't a very intelligent person. And to me, it just seems like maybe it was that. Maybe that was it. It's just like she didn't know what
That's
else
what I
to
think.
do. Know
Yeah,
what
I
else
think
to
she
do.
gotta.
It's like, okay, I don't know where else to put him, so I guess right here is gonna have to work.
I mean, let's face it though. Let's not take away from the fact that she drove 1,400 miles
Mm-hmm.
to dispose of him. You
Well,
know, so
obviously, she wanted to get it as far away as
right,
possible.
which
Like,
is the smart thing to do.
well, in her
But,
mind, she probably thought that was the most brilliant thing. But then
why
she
would you?
came
That's
to
what we're
terms, like
talking
she's
about.
like, now I don't know where I'm going to put him. Now that I've driven all this way out here, that's what I'm saying. She probably got impatient. She's just like, oh god, like, all right, here's probably as good.
We can't overlook exactly why this observation of yours was made, which was I'm not getting that vibe that she's that intelligent, because only an idiot would drive 1,400 miles just to dispose of the body so carelessly the way that she did.
Yeah, and you see it. It doesn't look
I mean?
like, to me, it doesn't look like that would be like there's so many other places, especially if you're in Florida. Like if you were thinking about it, not to be gruesome to Gannon, but like, wouldn't you think like maybe some gators or something? Like if you maybe like disassemble and put it over there. Like, you're all the way in Florida. Why not try to do that? But that's what I'm saying. A non-intelligent person would do some stupid ass thing like that and be like, well, I'm just gonna throw them here on a freaking busy ass highway. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a busy ass place already. And like you're over there like, oh, this is kind of just.
I think a perfect example of stupidity is to go way out of your way to be lazy. To be lazy.
Yeah.
Completely out of your way to be like, fuck it. I mean, this is the level of intelligence we're thinking. That person does not have a PhD.
But if we're thinking about it too, think about all the details of the case too that were just absolutely freaking disturbing. All the blood, the amount of blood that was found, you know, that soaked all the way. It soaked through the mattress. It soaked through the floor. It soaked through the padding. It soaked all the way into the concrete. Like that shows you, like right there in itself, like either she just lost her shit or something. I don't even know. Like it's just the amount of blood that it would take to go all the way through all of those different things.
I think that she's evil, man. I
she
think
is.
that she
like
is
you can see her face. She's evil. She is evil. She's a horrible person.
Right. I don't see any redeeming qualities about this person in the slightest bit.
No.
Not
especially the fact, like, oh my god, like the fact that she's tried to get off on insanity now, and now she's coming up with all these things and trying to look insane. Like, okay, like now all of a sudden you're going to try to look insane. You were trying to look sane and then calling people stupid for making you like, oh, do you think this and that about me and this and that? And then all of a sudden she's trying to make herself look insane. Like, okay, which one is it? Because you wanted people to think you were sane in the beginning when people were calling you out and starting to realize that you were full of shit. And then you have the other side of the spectrum where you're like, okay, well, now I'm going to claim insanity. Okay, well, which one is it? Are you sane or are you not sane? Because you were trying to convince everybody that you were sane during all these things, that people are attacking me now and they think I'm an evil, horrible person. No, it's blah, 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 this and that. And then all of a sudden you're insane. Like, how do you go from? It's like, okay,
no, you're not gonna put up all that front, you know, and then be like, oh, I'm not competent to stand trial. No, you were competent enough to try to put everybody through the ringer with a huge runaround to avoid taking accountability for this. You could stand trial. This is not somebody who. This is somebody who has just been completely and totally uncooperative throughout this entire thing in every way, shape, or form.
She really has. And the fact that she
tried to escape. She hospitalized the sheriff's deputy.
And just think about all of the time, the hours, the countless hours, and people going in the cold and then trying to find Gannon. Just imagine all the time that everybody wasted because of the psychopath too. Like all the hours, the countless hours that people put in, they gave all their heart to try to get in there and stuff like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right,
Yeah.
so we'll jump into this audio. It looks like it's like 51 minutes. So I'll try to see if I could sift through some parts. But
That would be crazy.
can you guys hear it?
I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
I'll be right back. Continue. I can hear it from my phone, but I got to step away for just a
whatever.
second.
It's just he'll give us the key and he would do whatever in there. I mean, yeah, we're in Denver all the time. Seems like way too much.
So just basically talk about, we're recording now, so
Yeah.
You're literally pretty much right behind the house, like literally less than 1 minute away.
Yep. Yeah, we all knew when it was happening that the little boy was missing, and neighbor had to go look for him. So yeah, she just kind of was playing it cool, saying that he'll come home. He's at his friend Jimmy's house, and not to worry. And of course, Jimmy doesn't exist. The neighbors found that really quickly. Kept seeing. We actually had to go look. People actually looked the entire town over for Gannon. Looking for spottings where he was spotted or sighted or whatever.
Yeah, which we were talking about too. Like you got to actually witness. You guys got to see the search parties involved and all the different things.
Yep, they actually have EquuSearch, Texas EquuSearch here in the neighborhood, looking through everything. People going door to door with dogs, and these fields over here. They were looking for anything. They had the neighborhood drone guy. Had drones for days and days and days, but all of this whole area through here, searching all the little creeks and the reservoirs, and for anything that even remotely looked like would belong to a person. It's pretty daunting. Our little boy's missing and it's freezing outside, and
yeah, I can imagine. And that's something that's interesting too. Like you were talking about how that specific, when everybody was looking, it was very freezing.
Yeah.
So it shows that the community was very supportive. And,
people in pajamas and
yeah, exactly.
they were wearing slippers. They would put on our page, hey, can somebody bring us extra flashlights or batteries, and these are dead. They've been out there for so long, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning asking for fresh batteries for flashlights, or, bring us new flashlights. And people had ATVs and UTVs out here, searching all over the neighborhood. Even as the days and weeks went by without any leads whatsoever, we had the sheriff pretty much told them, you can take your UTVs on streets all over here now, just with the idea of searching wherever you can get small vehicles into like that. And
so they're literally less than 1 minute away. I mean, like literally you go out the street and come around the corner and they're right there. So, I mean, this is very, very close proximity. They're in very, very close proximity of Gannon's house. It took me, I think, like, I don't know, less than a minute to drive over to where they were at. You turn around the corner and they're right there. So they are telling you like details of like how much and how many people like did different things, the ATVs, the flying drones, the people walking out in pajamas, people helping out. Like, it's like the community. This is what speaks volumes too, is the community all came together too, which is so awesome that they were all trying to help out. And so they were helping each other with food. They were helping each other with batteries for flashlights, whatever they could find to try to help locate Gannon. They basically were doing. So, and you guys saw too, even when I went there on this last investigation, you saw all the blue lights that were still in honor of him. You got to see those two as well. So it's crazy. We'll keep going on it.
Searching off-limit Air Force land around here in the school area, just so we could, conduct personal searches.
Yeah, and you were telling me too also about the different apps and the communication that you had with the neighbors. I don't know if it's the next door neighbors.
It's like it's our Lorson Ranch page. It's kind of like the next door app. It's just for our little community. So everybody who lives in the community, of course, can go on there and we just talk back and forth, post whatever we do post, but very, communicating about Gannon, sightings or about things where he might be, or if we knew like leads or whatever. And
I think they actually started to do a food trade
They
for the
did.
Mekcee show.
they were doing a food training for her, because we always do it when somebody's, in need in the neighborhood. So, bringing her food every single night, and they actually had all the search parties are right here.
Did you hear what she just said? Where she was talking about the glare? She was talking about how they would go take her food. They would do a food train for Letitia and the family. Can you imagine how annoying that would be going and taking food to this person, then you find out that shit. Like, how frustrated and pissed off would you be at that? Oh my god!
Right, and each day, you know, the public, that area, that neighborhood, that community was becoming more and more suspicious of her, more and more building more and more contempt for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean that's you know. So I mean, how amazing of that community! Oh, look at the little dude! Look at the little dude!
He's over here spinning my door. I have you read it. Can you say hi? Hi. Hi. This is my son Israel, everybody.
Hi, Israel.
Israel.
Well,
Uh-huh. You say hi, you silly. You wanna go play with Coco? Go play with Coco, baby?
looks just like his dad, man. That's dope.
Yeah, he does. He's a little mini me for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a little mini me. Sorry guys, I'm gonna go try to take him, but I'll start playing the audio because obviously I've heard it, but feel free to jump into the glare if you hear something of interest real quick, but I'll be right back. I'm gonna go take this little guy upstairs to mama, and then I'll be right back. But
all right, man. Yeah,
right,
man.
Gotta go do the dad thing. Hold on.
By the house, they had like restaurants or catering out here for the people who were searching. They didn't go on just for a few hours. They went on for about 3 weeks, day and night. They had 24-hour searches for Gannon. Donut shops and then actual restaurants like some of the like Applebee's and stuff. They're bringing food over, and you know, just had to cater for everybody who was. If you want to stop by,
close knit community.
we are. We're people a little crazy around here, but we're close knit. We do take care of each other, and if one of our people are, you know, even just sick or needing help, you know, the neighbors get together and they, you know, take care of the neighbors who are sick or they get everything that they need. So yeah.
And you guys were talking about too that you actually were in contact with Letitia prior to this too, like on Facebook.
Asking her, like sending her screenshots of or videos of our cameras, our security cameras. Police were asking the same thing if we had to review cameras to see if we could see anything that would be any significance. And
they went door to door too.
They were going door to door asking people to review. But yeah, I mean, I posted on there, you know, at night, hey, would this be him going down the street and tell her where it was and what he was wearing? And of course, you know.
So that's interesting. So you guys actually got to see, you know, some of Gannon's photos and things.
Oh yeah.
And so like prior to that happening, and you had mentioned too that Letitia's original demeanor was nice at first, and then tell me about when she started to switch. Like you were talking.
Well, in fact, that night she of course wasn't the one who posted, you know, her son missing. It was one of her neighbors posted and said he's missing. I guess it had been I guess Al had eventually contacted that neighbor and she posted because Letitia didn't want to. And she was, you know, very calm that night, saying he'll just come back home. She wasn't worried. And I actually remember the next morning, the neighbor came back on there asking if there's a doctor in the area because she was having heart palpitations. She was actually, you know, so stressed and so worried that she was concerned for her life at that point, you know, having a heart attack or something, which of course wasn't true. She just kind of was, you know, just looking for attention with people. And
see, so does that tell you, like, in a nutshell, freaking hurt?
Dude, there's always that sad fisher. Like they do something really screwed up, and then they sit there and go, "Oh, feel sorry for me. Yeah, this is killing me. It's me that it's hurting the most."
Me, pay attention to me. But you can see that in her interview too. Remember, it was 4 minutes and some odd seconds into the interview before she even mentioned Gannon's name. You get 4 minutes into the interview, and this is all about Gannon, and you don't mention Gannon until like 4.5 minutes, I think, even into
disgusting.
That's
like, dude, I've gone over that interview live so many times. Like, I think it's 4 times already. Like with you, was the 4th. And it never fails to blow my mind how awful this person is.
Yeah, it's crazy. But this person, do you see how much like this is why it was so fascinating to me to go over this, because they had so much information, and they had like, I was like,
no,
and it's somebody that's like
right information, man. These are people with boots on the ground looking for Gannon.
Yeah, boots
You
on
know,
the ground looking for Gannon, taking over food to
Blue
try to
lights
help
on.
with the community, doing all these things, being involved in the community. They actually had conversations. I'll go into it. I think it's in here somewhere, but they actually Facebooked Letitia, and we're talking to Letitia. They were over there talking back and forth with Letitia too.
Wow. I mean, and you could. What was really funny was what a classy lady too.
Mm.
You know, because she wasn't holding back in the sense of like, yeah, you know, she was talking about heart palpitations and she was, you know, looking for attention, you know, but she left it at that, you know. But she could have been like, man, this lady, you wouldn't believe what she was like.
What a bitch.
Yeah, she could have been totally just going into her, man, and like you would have been there with your phone going.
Yeah, I know. I would have been like, but that's why it was cool. That's why I said that's why it was cool. I originally got to go prior to Gannon's investigation. That's why I think I was like 10 minutes late into Gannon's investigation, because I actually sat down with them for I think like 45 minutes prior to the investigation to listen to the story that they had to tell too. Her and her husband and their family was awesome. They were so inviting. They were awesome people. Like I can't speak highly enough of them. So we'll keep playing some of this, but guys, there's so much great information on this thing.
Yeah, so she was nice up until the week, I guess. Afterwards, they started getting kind of people were on to her, like
weird.
The places that she was saying that he was last seen that could not have possibly been around here. So then we kind of knew she's kind of, you know, yeah, it wasn't. She's just trying to, I mean, like weird stories, you know. And I guess they had found some emails that, you know, for ransom notes that I don't think that was ever posted like on the news. It was ransom notes from like overseas emails that she had been in charge of, like asking for money and, you know.
Do you remember hearing about that? There? Are you muted? Did we mute you accidentally?
That's me. Sorry. Play that one more time just by accident. Or
right,
just that last part. Sorry.
Rewind it a little bit here.
First, they started getting kind of people were on to her, like
weird.
The places that she was saying that he was last seen that could not have possibly been around here. So then we kind of knew she's kind of, you know, yeah, it wasn't. She's just trying to, I mean, like weird stories, you know. And I guess they had found some emails that, you know, for ransom notes that I don't think that was ever posted like on the news. It was ransom notes from like overseas emails that she had been in charge of, like asking for money, and you know, there were some strange things.
So, yes.
See, did you hear what she said? The ransom notes. Do you remember? Do you ever remember hearing about that? I don't remember hearing about that in the case.
I don't remember hearing about that either.
See, but that's what's crazy is because they were in such close contact with them. I'm talking. They had a police investigator who was actually involved in this. They had direct contact with Letitia, Facebook messages and things like that, and it's just like, whoa, like, so this is like some of the behind the scenes things like you don't hear about all the news media, you know what I mean? Like the news media blows up like certain things, but some of the stuff you miss unless you have like a direct connection with those things. So
she gave like she gave law enforcement like 3 or 4 different stories. Like the one about Eduardo.
Yeah,
Eduardo. I mean, come on, dude. Like that guy doesn't exist, bro. Stop it. That's not a real dude.
She's bad shit crazy.
You're right. Guanosis.
So it sounds like she tried to come with cover, but not only in necessarily one avenue, but she was trying to come up with many different avenues of where she was trying to say this is what happened, and this is what happened.
Miles
she was
away.
trying to find cover-ups basically for
saying that he was.
Which we knew, like we already knew, like she tried to come up with like one story and then one story. Like she couldn't even keep her story straight. She'd like go into one story and then she'd go into another story and then she'd go to another story. Like what we were just talking about just now. We were like, oh my God, like come on, lady.
Yeah, like she was trying, you know, that was before the whole, you know, he was taken by Eduardo or whoever.
See, she knew about it too.
Oh, I think he ran away to Jimmy's and they left in a vehicle. He was seen in a vehicle with older guys and he doesn't know any people with a car, so we don't know who these people were. And they actually went and checked the businesses around here, the security cameras. and she actually sat there in the cars while people were checking video cameras. That wasn't. She's kind of like on a wild goose chase at that point. She just lead people everywhere he had never been, just to throw people off.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So after
Yeah,
a while,
especially if you have something to hide or cover, that's usually what you do is you try to throw them off of the case. So
I think it actually got real that we knew she was really crazy probably right before they started looking out north of like Larkspur, because that's when she started getting like her whole attitude changed. She would come on on Facebook and she would just she did all the groups, especially like our neighborhood group. She was tell us that we're crazy for accusing her and what we're talking about.
So basically, it switched from trying to be
Sweet.
helpful and sweet to now okay.
To just evil.
It's evil. Yeah. Now everybody leave me alone. You guys are coming after me now. And I think what probably
we were attacking
happened,
her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think what had happened is you guys finally probably knew that she was full of crap.
Yeah.
And
they're calling her on it.
Yeah, so people started calling her on her crap because they started noticing inconsistencies.
Yep.
And so she probably fell backed into a corner.
She did, and she's kind of. She started saying that Al was involved in it, which was an odd thing that that came out later on. But she was kind of got to the point where she was trying to she was grasping at straws, just making things up here and there. Just anything she could say to throw people off the case. She wasn't trying to find Gannon. She wasn't trying to. She didn't seem compassionate at all. Like please help me find my son. Yeah. That's not what she was doing.
And you could notice that in the interview too, which we were talking about earlier when she was doing the interview. She basically, I was talking about it too, 4 minutes into a conversation without even once asking and saying, please help find Gannon.
Yeah.
I need help finding him, which would be, if you look at the video of his actual mother, like you can actually see that
she was concerned.
She was concerned.
Yes.
But Letitia kind of made it all about
she
herself.
Did. Yeah, that video she did. And
usually that's what a guilty party does. She was
jealous.
Yeah.
I think she was jealous of and I think she was upset that she was the babysitter for the kids when Al had to go do his his job and that kind of thing. I think she was very irate, a very unhappy person. I think she took it out on Gannon. I do think she took it out on Lena as well, but just didn't go that far. I think she was more resentful to Gannon than she was of the girls, I do believe. But yeah,
that could have to do with the gender too. Like a lot of people don't necessarily understand, but I think sometimes in that.
What do you feel about that too? Do you think that? Because I was thinking about that when I was talking to her, and I was saying, do you feel like in some cases, like for instance, the stepmother and Gannon being a boy, and then the others being a girl, do you think that she was maybe obviously she was harder on him, but due to the gender, like, do you believe that to be true sometimes? Like, you think that sometimes some people are harder on a male than they would be a female?
Not necessarily, but I do believe that played into her contempt for him on top of him not actually being hers and him having so many special needs.
Because I think a couple things played into. One was the special needs. I know that he has special needs, so he was probably a more difficult child to take care of, which probably frustrated her. Another one was obviously the fact that his father was not around a lot. That probably played it a part. And then I think that in this case, I'm not saying in all cases in general, but like just like in this specific case, like I feel like the gender of it, like I feel like maybe played a little bit of a part in it too as well.
The thing is you have to consider, and it's something we don't like to think about, but if we're gonna speculate on this, what we're talking about right now, we have to consider the manner of death that he endured. And he endured a very violent, very anger and hatred driven death. And so this woman had contempt for Gannon, very much a lot of built up contempt. It doesn't take a mental health professional to come to that conclusion.
You could see it. You could see it in her, even in her responses. Like it just her interview, her responses, the way she took things. Like, gosh, she's a very, very disturbed person to say the least. But
now, did she hate him because he's a boy? I don't think so.
I don't
I
think necessarily a boy, but I think it
that
added
added to it.
to it. Yeah, I think it
Right.
added to it. I think the fact that he was a boy, you know what, and I'll even stretch out on a limb and go ahead and go to even this extent is if she held resentment towards the father. A lot of times, like for instance, you see my little guy, he looks like me. If you hold resentment towards the father and you see some similarities in the child, and because they're like them, like I think that sometimes that can play it too. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like your father. Yeah, I just remind me of your father. You know what I mean? Like, so what if she had like resentment towards him? You know, it's just another thought, but I
I
don't know.
agree. I agree. Yeah, this the bottom line as far as why we follow these cases, you know, why we follow these cases is to try to understand. And the ones that we find the most fascinating is how do you understand someone who did an obvious act of pure evil?
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly obvious. How do you do that? And and understand where they're coming from if you can't relate to them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, I can't imagine ever doing that to anyone, much less a child. You
And
know?
I think that's honestly like that's why you see so many fans of like true crime is like exactly what you're saying and stating is like we try to get into the psyche of like what like the psychology portion of it. Like you're like, what was going through that person's mind that would make them so fucking far gone that they would be willing to do something so heinous, so atrocious, so disgusting. Like what is going through your fucking mind that you can go and do something so horrendous to a child?
And it was obvious that she manipulated her daughter to lie for her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so to not only just do that.
Oh, she was a puppet. You know what? With that too, the girl, I wonder that too. I was just about to ask you that like a few minutes ago. What do you think as far as that? Do you think that her daughter maybe had a more of a role than we know in the kid? Do you think maybe had some part into helping maybe dispose of Gannon? Do you think?
I've thought about that.
I've thought back and forth on it, and I'm like, damn, I just don't know. Like, I honestly, I thought about it back and forth because you can see the puppet strings that she controls on that interview. Like, she basically controls her. Like, and like, it's almost like the girl's afraid to say anything. Like,
the thing is
I gotta say what you want me to say.
That's one of those cases where you have to, I believe, have faith in law enforcement, because if she did, I think she would already be under arrest. I think they would have found out. I think they would know.
But what if
but I won't assume so. The reason why I won't assume so is because she was still a minor. She was still a kid.
Yeah, she was.
You know, that would still make her a victim in this whole scenario.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you come to a point like when you have somebody so vicious, so evil that's done something, and you're the child of this person, and you see that she's done something so heinous, and if she's over there like, you're going to help me or else, like, what would be going through my mind as a kid is I better fucking help them or I'm fucking next. That's what would be going through my mind is I'd be like, oh my God, I'm next. If they can kill them, they could kill me. Like, you want me to say, what do you want me to do with it? Like, what do you want me to do with this? And like, so I think about that and I'm like, because I see how scared she was in her interview to like say what she wanted to maybe necessarily say. It was more like a puppeteer. Like, you're going to say this, oh, tell them about what you know, tell them about this and tell them about, you know, like, and she's over there like, oh, you know, and like, it makes me wonder. I'm like, maybe she was told to do something that.
Well, let me ask you an extremely dark question here. Okay. When you were 17, would you have helped your mom get rid of a body?
No. I think if I would have known, it depends. I guess it depends on the case.
Theory,
Like,
I'd say no. Right. Exactly. It
depends on if it was somebody that was trying to hurt us, and she's like, oh my god, I had to kill them because they were going to hurt us. I'd be like, where do you want me to put
I put you on the spot like that? The reason why I put you on the spot like that was because who knows what their dynamic is.
Yeah.
She probably, this is an abusive person. She probably lives in fear of this woman every day. She probably feels that she's probably manipulated. She's manipulated and gaslighted all the time. You know, if there's physical abuse, there's got to be psychological abuse. It goes hand in hand. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure that she was very, at least psychologically abusive to her own daughter. We saw it on camera. We saw her during that interview. So we don't know what the circumstances would be. So I would say I would come to the conclusion. I would feel most comfortable coming to the conclusion that she's a victim. And even if she did, let her live her life. You know, I don't see a killer in her. I don't see a horrible person. I think
I don't either.
To some degree, she should be held accountable. Absolutely. But to be dragged through the public because this is such a high profile case, I don't think that the punishment fits the crime, if that makes sense, considering the circumstances that I'm assuming are probably taking place in her situation.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
And honestly, to be 100% accurate, we probably don't really know what they have. And like, as far as the daughter, maybe they do know that something potentially happened, and maybe they're just like, it was out of her hands. She was a minor.
Right. Maybe we don't know. And they didn't release that information because she was a minor at the time.
Yeah.
So it's quite possible. It's absolutely quite possible.
So it could be possible. Oh man, well, we have so much stuff to cover too. And I talked about like we're going to do a part 3. So I know that it's getting late for everybody. It's 10:40 my time, so I can only imagine it's probably what 12:30 your time there.
Yeah.
So I think we'll probably end up ending this one right now for the time being. We'll go over some more of the video, and I'll sift through some of the important parts in this chat because I wanted you guys to hear, you know, the neighbor, like they have such excellent things to say. Like I really wanted you guys to hear that. I'll put a link in here. I'll upload it to my Gmail so you guys can listen to it at your free will too. But I say we do part 3, and I'm going to slice down all the evidence that I have too. I'm going to create a video so that we can just watch the video while we're doing the live and go over it. And I'll splice it down into all the findings for the part 3 so that it'll be a short version where it won't be, you know, we look through the entire thing. It's just going to be like the absolute good things that came about, because there's some crazy things that like we haven't even got through. Like literally on the last one that you guys saw when it called my name 3 times, we'd only got through 3 out of 9 total videos that I had recorded from that night. So 3, we only got through 3 of those. So there's a lot more pieces of evidence for as far as the paranormal goes. On the paranormal side, I wanted to cover the other side of this portion of the case because I think it deserved more than I usually do, because it's such a sad, tragic case, and I seriously want justice for Gannon. I really do. And I think that this part 2 of it, I really wanted to cover, like going over the Florida that MJ's life had done, talking to the neighbors and getting you guys like kind of more familiar with the case. This is something usually typically I usually don't do this, but I felt like I wanted to do it more this time. So part 3 will be more of we'll do short breakdown of the remainder of the audio from the neighbors, and then I'll compact everything down into the findings, and we'll watch a video. And I would say probably the findings video may be 10 to 15 minutes compacted together of all the crazy stuff that we found. So
Nice.
are you willing to join for part 3?
I'm grateful to have to be here whenever you want me to be here, man. I love being on.
Well, let's do that. We'll combine. We'll get together and we'll see. We'll do it within this next week, part 3. and then we'll go over all the stuff because I want you to hear the skeptic, Mr. Skeptic, of all the stuff. I want you to hear all that stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, like I'm slowly, I always believe in something bigger. I'm only a skeptic because I want to be sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm less of a man of faith than I am a man of evidence. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And maybe that's a flaw, but I'm working on that.
Well, good. Then I might have to start going over the Bible with you because they have ton of the evidence that hasn't been proven. And so I know you're like, the Bible.
Those are just called theories, my man.
Yeah, you say theories, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. Well, I'm going to prove to you. You want the evidence and the proof behind it. I'm going to show you the evidence and the proof behind it. We're going to have a session for you on the Bible.
Here's how I look at the Bible. This is my take on the Bible. I believe in the Bible. I just believe that they are the perception. They are the. It's the perception of people who lived 3,000 years ago. That did not have nearly close to the knowledge that we have now and scientific explanations for things we have now. So they worded it a certain way. And that's not to say that they didn't see miracles. That's not to say that they didn't see amazing things. I'm saying that some of the stuff, it's like, okay, let's so I just try to look at the Bible realistically if I can and consider that. But the lessons in the Bible are what should be focused on, in my opinion. The message behind what the purpose of the Bible serves, which is to teach us how to. It's a guidebook to life. It's a guidebook to life. If there's a situation in your life, this is one thing I'll give the Bible. This is why it's the #1 bestseller of all time. It's if there's one thing about the Bible, you can find a passage in the Bible that will pertain to any situation in your life. That is absolutely true. If there's something going on with you and you're like, I got to pray on this.
So is a Chinese fortune cookie. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, there's some passage in the Bible somewhere in there that will be there to act as a message to help guide you moving forward. I truly honestly believe that. I've always believed that since I've ever.
I can't wait. I'm gonna one day have you on. I'm glad that you talked about a little bit about it. So I'm proud of you for even talking about it because that's awesome to me. But one day, I think me and you are gonna get down in the nitty gritty of it because you're one of those people that likes the evidence. And I
believe in the same thing you do. I believe in the same exact thing that you do. I just believe that there's a scientific explanation for it. That's all I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait till we're gonna do a well, not necessarily a debate, but we're gonna have a discussion.
I would love that.
And we'll do it because I love to have like discussions with people that necessarily they believe partially in the Bible because they believe it's accounts of people who have been in the past, but don't necessarily believe it to be a 100% true testament of what is like what you're saying, like the supernatural portion of it or the miracle portions of it, which you said there's probably miracles in there that probably did happen because miracles happen every day. But those kinds of conversations, I absolutely love. So I know this is like way off of like the paranormal type thing, but
it's actually related. It's related.
It's related in a sense because like they kind of hand tied it, like because the reason I believe so much in demons is what I'm hunting paranormal wise is because of the Bible. The Bible states specifically many accounts of when they have to deal with sending demons out or casting demons out, and demons being here and demons being fallen angels. I didn't know if you knew that too. Fallen angels, a third of the angels falling from heaven and basically uprising against God and saying that we're going to go with the devil, which was Lucifer. If you guys don't know a lot about the Bible, the Lucifer, which was pretty much the right hand man of God, and one of the most expertise area that he had was music too. There's a fun fact for you. So that's why you see so much music being so like. There's so many things, guy. I want to do about
that's
this.
where the whole "sold my soul to the devil" for the ability to play music comes from. Yeah, meeting him at the crossroads, that sort of thing. I love those kind of stories, man.
So
I love it.
yeah, it's cool. The Bible's like full of awesome stories, but like I can't wait to get in more with that. We're gonna do a segment on it. We
got to do it with Robbie too. Robbie's got to be on.
Oh,
panel.
absolutely.
Yeah, Robbie's got to be on panel for that.
And you know what? Like I went to a Christian school. They teach you different things, and they like teach you things. But I also one of the things that taught you is like some of the different religions. They teach you different the religions because they're like, well, how do you combat somebody who says this or that? Like, what's like, because you have to get in that mindset. Like, if you're trying to talk to somebody who believes in, Buddhism or, whatever else, and they believe certain things, like, how do you talk to them about it? And I know that there's so many Christians out there that are so frustrating because they're so driven into trying to pound God into people. And that's where you see a lot of people get turned off to God too, unfortunately, is because like you go into a church and you feel judgment cast upon you because you're a certain way or you're a certain person. And they like shun you out of the Bible or shun you out of the church. And you're like, God, I can't stand Christians because look at them. They're so judgmental. And that's like the opposite of what Christians are supposed to be too, by the way.
Right.
Christians are supposed to be per Jesus. They're supposed to be like him. They're supposed to be loving and accepting. He had some of the most.
You have to look for God within yourself.
Yeah, you have to, and you have to love. That's why it says one of the hugest things that love your neighbor as yourself. And if you can't love yourself and you can't love other people, like
if you can't love yourself, you can't love others. There's no way. It's not possible. And I totally agree with that. It's very there's just a lot of stuff. I look at Buddhism and meditation. I just think it's another culture's. It's the same thing. Meditation and prayer are the same thing. If you're praying properly, you're really you're at one with you and God, right?
Peace. Yeah,
you're in prayer. If you're deep in prayer, and then when you're anointed with the Holy Ghost, as they say, when you're in prayer, well, that's the feeling of enlightenment that you reach when you're meditating.
And there's a lot of similarities. A lot of people don't realize, but there's a lot of similarities between
why is it so hard
religions. There's a lot of similarities.
To think that they all teach the same things. They just have their own methods of reaching these points of knowledge and getting right with what's around us. Even Star Wars, the Force is basically God. Well, you're right. Yeah, they say it's the thing that connects us all together. That's what I truly believe God to be.
I have not watched. I will confess this. I have not watched any of the new Star Wars movies.
They're awful anyway, dude. Like, I'm not even a big Star Wars guy. Like I was when I was a kid, and then like I became a grown man, and I was like,
I tried one of them, and I got about 25 minutes into it, and I was like, what is this crap? I was like, I can't do it, man. I was like, because I remember as a kid, I was like, the Star Wars movies, you're like, yes, Chewbacca coming over.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great concept, but the movies aren't even that good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the concept behind it's great, but the movies themselves are not that great. They didn't even have that great of actors. Like, if you really think about it, they're just iconic films because of the concept. It's like The Matrix. The Matrix isn't a good movie. The concept of The Matrix is fantastic.
Yep.
But none of the
Matrix itself. Yeah, the Matrix itself. Like if you look behind the video, footage of it and stuff like that, like them actually doing the movie. Like I look back at it now and I was like, my God, like especially the oh my God, what do you call that? Where they had him and they were doing it by the computer generated version of him over there fighting. Like it was so awful. Like the concept of the movie and the like how they had it like set up, the storyline of it, awesome, fantastic. But like the actual video,
the execution of it is like you can write a dope ass song, but if you can't sing, Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what?
I used to always make fun of Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is such a great guy behind the scenes, from what I've seen too. By the way, so this is
And I
not.
love his movies. I love The Matrix. I do.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
just,
like
I'm just not
Keanu
gonna
Reeves
call it a
movies,
good
but he back in the day, he was very, very similar. He had a very similar structure of how he did his thing. Like it always reminded me of this. They went too far.
Right, totally. Yeah. He's totally typecast. He's totally typecast. And Hollywood just knows how to do it for his age as he ages, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I mean, come on. John Wick is dope, dude.
John Wick is freaking bad.
I mean, come
movie.
on.
Badass movie.
All three of them are great, dude.
And to be fair, did you see the behind the scenes footage of him training for that movie?
Yeah.
Dude, he actually trained for that stuff, and I mean, he trained for it.
I mean, you look at some of it's computer generated, but very, very little of it. I mean, but he's doing all the, know why?
Because it went too far.
Yeah, man. I'm a big Bill and Ted fan.
Yeah, Bill and Ted. I didn't see the second one though. Have you seen the second one yet?
Well, there's three. There's
the third one. Sorry, the third one. Yeah, the newest one that they just released.
Because I'm a fan, I'm going to be completely honest. This is my most honest movie review of all time. I loved the third movie, but
did you? I haven't watched it.
I can't honestly say that if I wasn't a fan of the other two movies,
you would like it.
I am, that I would like it as much as I do.
It's like I could say this, like, honestly, I was a huge fan of Dumb and Dumber. However, when I saw the latest one that they just released, I was like, what is this? Yeah. What did they do? What did you? And that's what I was afraid of too when they were doing it. I was like, you guys are gonna ruin the classic. And I was afraid. I was like, nah, they can maybe pull it off. I mean, it's Jim Carrey. It's Jim Carrey, man, he can do it.
I'm still excited that they're making a Matrix 4 because I'm still excited about it.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Like I think the last two were awful. I think the first one is good, but the concept of it is and you know what? Actually, I'm gonna take that back. The Matrix, the first one, it's just a good movie because they did things filming that movie that were unparalleled. Like they'd never been done before. You know, when they did that first shot where Trinity does the crane kick in the air and the camera's pan around, that's never been done before. And they set up a bunch of cameras to do that. They had that vision. The Wachowskis had that vision, and they executed that. I'm going to go ahead and say that I take back saying that it's not a good movie. That it's a pioneer film. It really is.
Oh, all right, man. Well, I better get back to doing the husbandly and father duties and stuff. But thank you for coming on. Thank you, all you guys, for staying with me too. I hope you guys got a little bit of content. I know this is a little bit different, like I said, than the usual paranormal type things. But I wanted to set it up because I thought Gannon deserved a little bit more than just the usual typical things that I did. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys, enjoyed the content and things like that. So thank you so much for joining. Blair, thanks again for joining. We're going to do a part 3, and the part 3 is going to be crazy. So I hope to see all you guys there. I hope all the rest of you have a good evening, and thanks for staying with us. And
I just real quick wanted to say, MJ's life, thank you so much for your the footage you provided. That was amazing. Thank you so much for that. And thanks for having me on, dude. Like, that interview was great. I can't wait to hear the rest. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you. All right, we'll talk to you later. Have a good night, eh?
You too.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much again for staying with us. I appreciate you all so much. My gosh, all kinds of stuff happened tonight, huh? We got to get behind the scenes of seeing the footage of where Gannon was found. We got to see some of hear some of the recordings that I did with the neighbors. Thank you so much for staying with us. The part 3, it'll be cool. And I guess we'll see you. I hope you guys have, it's probably for most of us, the next day already. So thanks for staying with us. I know everybody's tired, so I'm tired. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks so much. See you guys.